Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony in the studio. They're underway in the Big D, and it's all about Sacramento, Greg.
Well, as my main man Yogi Berra would say, it's deja vu all over again.
17-10 your score. Peja, Bibby, and Weber with all 17 points for Sacramento. But let's head back for the finish in Detroit.
Those of you that have been watching Detroit beat Philadelphia in overtime, we welcome you to Dallas, where there's an unbelievable shooting display going on. As we're tied, or actually were, the Mavericks have the lead now 39-37. It was a 20-10 lead at one time for Sacramento. Finley hits his first basket. It's a three. It's 42-37. We have not finished the first quarter yet.
This would be a third quarter score for the Eastern Conference.
Well, the halftime score of Philadelphia and Detroit was 52-44. So we got a little bit different matchup going here between the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. Our Bud Light lineups on the floor right now. Here's how it looks. Bibby, Christie, Weber, Stojakovic, and Clark on the floor for Sacramento. Nash, Finley, Van Exel, Nahara, and Nowitzki out there for Dallas.
The only sub that Rick Adelman has used has been Keon Clark. And he'll be at the free throw line right here. Vlade Divac did not have a strong start. Rick Adelman has been capitalizing on Chris Webber's brilliance. Peja Stojakovic has been red hot. It's been all Sacramento early. The last couple of minutes, the Dallas Mavericks have come alive behind the brilliance of Dirk Nowitzki.
Look at the field goal percentage, 76% for Dallas. The Kings have scored on 17 of their 22 trips down the floor, and they're behind. I mean, come on.
Foul trouble, major problem for Dallas. Griffin with 3, Nowitzki with 2, Finley with 2. Don Nelson has yet to use either Rafe LaFrentz or Sean Bradley, the two big guys who gave him absolutely nothing in game 1. Oh, that's a foul. Oh, what is going on here?
Foul on
How can
Nahara.
they make that call? Eduardo Nahara just got hammered in the throat. He's standing there. He gets hit and they call a foul on him. That's unconscionable.
Lob underneath to Weber. Nahara's going to get another foul, and now he's got 3, and now Dallas has more foul trouble than they need.
The fans are irate, and with legitimate reason.
There's the collision between Clark and Nahara.
Keon Clark does a good job of fighting off that attempted screen. That play there was a foul on Eduardo Nahara, but now you get back-to-back fouls, and you're just dead. And Rafe LaFrentz, a sighting.
A sighting of Rafe LaFrentz. He is in the lineup. Chris Webber has gone to the free throw line 11 times in the first quarter. This is unbelievable.
That has to be an NBA record.
We're going to have a point record, more than likely, for a first quarter playoff combined score. We'll give you that in a second. The record, the NBA record for a first quarter combined is 84 points. It is 42-40. So you know where we're sitting. LaFrentz not only in the lineup, but taking a shot and missed it.
That was the first miss for Dallas after 11 consecutive makes. Why did they let Dirk keep shooting?
Stojakovic, another 3. This one's way off the mark. LaFrentz will clear it to Van Exel. Dallas by 2, final 49 seconds, first quarter. Finley in the lane, one-handed hook, and drew a foul.
Finley so well noted for driving to a spot and exploding in the air. Peja Stojakovic, an outstanding defender from where he once lived in the world of defense. Forcing Finley to take tough shots on the run.
Finley has a 3-pointer tonight. And now the free throw.
But he's been struggling mightily.
Yeah, he has. That hamstring problem at the end of the season may have had an effect, but he's not the Michael Finley we saw earlier in the year.
We got a free throw here, so tell me that record again you were talking about. What's the scoring record?
84 points in a first quarter is an NBA playoff record, which we'll have if Finley hits this free throw. We've just tied it.
Now, who has that record? That's got to be the Denver Nuggets.
It was Philadelphia at San Francisco in the 60s and Phoenix and Golden State in the 90s. We can break it if Sacramento scores this trip down court. Christie will try to do it for us. Not this time. Roger Bell just checked in with a rebound. Dallas, shot clock and game clock virtually identical. And everybody in the arena on their feet because unbelievably Dallas leads by 4 when they were down 20-10 early. Van Exel has a look up. Kick out to Finley. Finley with 2. Now inside, 1 too many passes. And we have 84 points in a quarter, but it only ties the record.
Finley should have shot that 3. He was wide open. They're going to put more time on the clock.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, we're definitely not done with the first quarter.
There's 0.5 seconds remaining.
Any fouls to give here for the Dallas Mavericks?
Both teams in the penalty right now. So it'll be Christie. Weber will get down close to the basket. And Keon Clark as well. Jim Jackson in there. There's the lob. And Dirk Nowitzki picks it off. And now the quarter has officially come to an end. End of 1. Unbelievable offensive display in Dallas. The Mavericks lead by 4. Dallas in front as we head to the second quarter. They trailed 20-10 with 8:19 to go in the quarter. They called a timeout, and this was Coach Nelson in the huddle.
I'd rather have him fight you. He can come down. You can't leave him wide open in the corner for 3 straight times. Or on our zone, let him catch and shoot. Come on. He's got 20 points in 3 minutes here.
We thought that was unbelievable, too. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, David Aldridge is with us. Partner, from that point on, though, Dallas got hot, and we have just tied the most points combined in a first quarter in playoff history. Dirk Nowitzki, a big part of it.
And that point seemed to be an eternity ago because Dirk Nowitzki has put on one of the great displays in NBA playoff history. Dirk Nowitzki hitting all kinds of shots out there. He's got 18 points in the first quarter alone, and he didn't touch the ball the first 5 minutes of the quarter. He just kept stepping further and further away. He was getting fouled on his three-point attempts. Perfect from the floor. He's got 5 rebounds. He does have 2 fouls, though.
Let's check in with third man on our team, David Aldridge. D.A.?
Guys, the Mavericks went with a small lineup, ironically, because they thought it would help them defensively. They wanted to get Nahara in the game. They wanted to get Adrian Griffin, Garden Pager, because they don't think Dirk Nowitzki can do it. So they played him at center, and of course we wound up with 84 points in the first quarter.
Unbelievable. And now more instant offense is checked in, though Bobby Jackson did miss the three-pointer. Highest scoring quarter in franchise playoff history for Dallas, that first quarter of 44. And Jim and Bobby Jackson both in there and trying to connect. They throw it away.
Sacramento took 17 free throw attempts in the quarter.
Finley got another one.
Generally, when you have that many free throw attempts, it becomes an ugly game. It becomes a slow down game. This game has been at a blistering pace.
7-point lead now for Dallas, 47-40. Their biggest lead so far. Bobby Jackson will change that as he hits a 3. Doesn't take Bobby long to get in the act.
6th man of the year in the NBA, matched up here with Raja Bell. He'll be able to roam freely defensively and pick off some passes.
Remember, Nahara on the bench with 3 fouls. Adrian Griffin, who started the game, also has 3 for Dallas, so they've got some problems in the foul department. Finley has been much better tonight. Most of his points came in a losing and lost cause effort in the fourth quarter the other night.
Who's running with Bobby Jackson?
Only Nick Van Exel, who's trying to guard him right now.
Supposed to be guys on his own team.
Keon Clark into Jimmy Jackson going through the paint. And he clangs one off the back of the rim. And here's Roger Bell on the run. Leaves it for Finley. LaFrench on the baseline. And he got it.
Finally. They've got at least 1 rebound, now at least 1 basket, which is a better contribution than they got out of him from game 1.
Yeah, he's already matched his point total from Tuesday. 49-43, 10 minutes in the half. In the half, 49-43. Weber short. Nowitzki's got another rebound. Dirk playing well on both ends of the floor. Still playing well on that end of the floor. 21 for Nowitzki.
Perfect from the floor, 7 for 7.
So
So all of his baskets are three-pointers? That can't be. No, he's got some free throws in there.
He's got 3 free throws, 3 two-pointers, and 4 three-pointers.
But Nick Van Exel does a great job of driving the ball right to Keon Clark. Dirk Nowitzki, he's not going to miss that shot.
He's not going to miss any, I guess. 21 points and 6 boards. The foul is on LaFrench. Keon Clark now to the free throw line.
Oh. Just off the iron.
Just a bit outside. Keon Clark, who had 2 great games in the regular season that Sacramento won 3 of 4 against Dallas. He actually had the winning shots in 2 of those games. And he has 2 horrible-looking free throws. And Dallas leads 52-43, 9.5 remaining in the half.
Biggest lead of the night.
Here's the lob. Finley broken up by Jimmy Jackson.
Sacramento has lost their rhythm. Rick Adelman's got a lot of work ahead of him right now because the Mavericks are sizzling offensively. And this is the kind of team that can just keep it going.
Nowitzki finally missed one. He was a little too open over Keon Clark, I think.
He was too close to the basket.
That might have been it. And now Clark and Nowitzki get tangled up in the lane, and it's going to be a foul on Keon Clark.
Offensive foul. Dirk has to be very careful. He's got 2 fouls. He should not even think about playing defense. Something he does pretty well.
I was going to say, he might take you up on that. Nowitzki, LaFrench, Lajabelle, Michael Finley, and Nick Van Exel on the floor for Dallas. Nick's been a little quiet. He was the big scorer the other night in the losing effort.
Nick's the kind of players who would be better when they're behind now.
That's true. LaFrench, nice offensive rebound, and now it's Nowitzki from the other side. He's missed 2 shots in a row after hitting everything he threw up before that. Weber, pull-up jumper, and he misses.
Look at Nowitzki. This is beautiful.
He had a notion, but he's going to bring it back out. Finley gave up a 3 and got that one instead. Finley with 10. The lead is 11.
Where's Peja Stojakovic?
Sacramento's only hit 5 of their last 15 shots, and whistle before the move to the basket for foul.
I think everybody needs to take a deep breath.
We'll take one with them. 8:22 remaining in the half. Dallas 54, Sacramento 43.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Nissan and your local Nissan dealer. And Wendy's Super Value Menu, the best 99 cents you can spend.
54-43 here in Dallas. As Sacramento ran out to a big lead, Dallas has come back to take the lead. This was the Sacramento huddle during that timeout.
They start trusting each other on defense. They start talking. We ain't helping each other out. That's why they get so many open shots.
Mike Bibby making his presence felt in that huddle, talking about the lack of defense. Meanwhile, offensively, the Kings started out 7 out of 10, but they've only hit 5 of their last 15 shots now. They find themselves down by 11.
Let's give Don Nelson a lot of credit here. He made some bold moves here, benching Sean Bradley completely, rarely using Rafe LaFrench, making these guys earn their playing time.
Bobby Jackson, Mike Bibby's wide open. 3 on the shot clock. He's got to take it, and the rebound, Rafe LaFrench.
They went away from Chris Webber, the Sacramento Kings. And since then, they have just not had any sort of offensive flow.
And he's not in there right now. Nowitzki. He's missed his last 2 shots. He's missed his last 3 shots. That one a tougher one, though. Stojakovic played him pretty well defensively. Kings now 6.5 minutes with only 1 field goal.
I'd run the offense through Vlade Divac down low. Let him pick him apart with his passing.
Jimmy Jackson, tough shot over Finley. Jim Jackson's first basket.
But one-on-one basketball is not the strength of Sacramento's game.
Well, the other night they looked like the Harlem Globetrotters with a passing display they put on.
And they started out that way again tonight.
Van Exel long range. Nick Van Exel.
He's the one-on-one master in this game.
He's got 6.
Zone defense. Flash Vlade to the high post.
Here he is through traffic. That's his first basket. 7-minute mark, 56-47. Finley, who's played so much better in this first half than he did in the entire game the other night. LaFrentz takes it. He wanted to give it up, and he was so wide open he had to take the shot, and he knocked it down.
Desperately searching for confidence, Rafe LaFrentz.
Here's Vlade backing LaFrentz in, and now the kick out to Stojakovic for three. He finally missed a three.
It was so easy for Sacramento early.
Van Exel the other end, and he got it. The lead swells to 14, and the place is rocking in Dallas. Bobby Jackson in the corner, and he misses. And Nowitzki's got another rebound. 7 rebounds for Dirk to go with his 21 points. Here he is against Stojakovic. Up and under. Missed the shot. And Peja's got the rebound.
Vlade's not even running the floor.
Bibby. He claimed a three off the front of the iron, and Nowitzki's got his 8th board. Van Exel going for the kill. This is the Dallas team that started their season 14-0. Not the pathetic-looking group we saw Tuesday night. 5:33 to go in the half. Dallas on a 17-4 run. Van Exel, a three there, and then trying to stick a dagger in the gut. Knocks down another. It's 64-47 Mavericks. Back in Dallas, 5:33 remaining in the half. Dallas in command. The Legends Love It Live Legends Tour continues across the NBA playoffs. And the #1 scorer all time in the NBA has joined us. I get sometimes kind of jaded. I have one of the 50 best players to work with every week, and an all-time great from UCLA. Now I got to a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Good to see you, partner.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you join us. What do you think of this first half of this ball game?
They're going to score 160 points. If they keep it up at this rate, somebody's going to get tired and get shaky, and then we'll see something in the second half. But you can't make any predictions out here. They're just shooting it, and it's like a really wild game.
Dallas shooting percentage is just off the charts. We had, I don't know if you knew it, we were talking about it, the most combined points in a first quarter. We tied it, the most combined points in playoff history in a first quarter, and we might shatter the halftime one as well.
Kareem, what does Sacramento have to do to get their rhythm back here?
Well, Sacramento has got to start hitting some shots from the outside.
That one rimmed out.
Or they're going to have to go and get something on the inside from their post-up player.
Oh, Nick Van Exel's just feeling it.
Nick has his own ideas about that, though.
You saw the San Antonio Spurs last night put on an offensive clinic. How would you rate that compared to what we're seeing from Dallas tonight?
Well, I think San Antonio had a more balanced game in that they had a great offensive game and a great defensive game. But nobody here seems to be playing any defense.
That's for sure. The crowd is chanting defense. And a shot clock violation. Sacramento not only not getting good shots, they're not getting shots. Nick Van Exel has come off the bench. He's hit his last 3 3-pointers. He wants to finish this thing in the half. It's a 20-point lead. And now Steve Nash inside. He's got a chance for a 3-point play.
What is the record for the most number of points in the first half?
We're looking that one up. I just mentioned we're probably going to blast that one through, too, as Nash takes it to the hole, and he's fouled.
I just had a look at the record book, and it wasn't in there by half, I don't think.
Steve Nash has 8 points. The lead goes out. It's 70-47.
Sacramento has foolishly gone away from Chris Webber, and it's absolutely taken him totally out of this ball game. And they have fallen apart as a team, the Kings have.
Weber and Stojakovic, Bill and Kareem in the first quarter, they combined for 32 points. They don't have any points in the second quarter yet.
Well, you know, what's happening to them, they got a lot of shots easy early, and they thought the whole game was going to be like that.
Good point.
And Dallas has some different ideas about, how this game is going to proceed, and that's what we see happening right now.
Nash pick and roll with LaFrance.
This has been such a remarkable turnaround.
It's really almost unbelievable. Stojakovic, and he still hasn't scored this quarter, and LaFrance playing like a guy that wants to play now.
Should have.
Finley. I thought he was going to jack it. Van Exel might.
Might?
There it goes. There it goes. 17 points for Nick Van Exel. Timeout.
Sacramento has not been able to play any defense in the paint, and Nick Van Exel seems to be Dallas's best paint performer. He's scored quite a few in the paint there.
Here's what Kareem's talking about when he's not knocking down threes. He's working on that little spin in the paint, and he has got the crowd going nuts in Dallas. Van Exel said after Tuesday night's embarrassing loss, 124-113, and it wasn't that close. He said, I am so tired of them kicking our butts. He's trying to do a little butt kicking back right now.
It's amazing, and then coming into this game, I saw no hope for the Dallas Mavericks. Their big guys were so deplorable in game one. Everything for Sacramento went right. So easy. Started out that way again tonight, but all of a sudden the offensive explosion. We've seen Dallas do this during the course of the regular season, but to do it against a great team like the Sacramento Kings, this is monumental and very impressive.
They're on an 18-0 run that Chris Webber just ended that lasted about 3 minutes. That's Webber's first basket after a 16-point first quarter.
Well, I think Bill was talking about had to do with Dallas being deflated. You know, they just lost their spirit and their heart and their competitive fire.
This little guy's giving it back to him, isn't he?
Nick Van Exel has a different idea about how that's supposed to proceed, and he's showing some serious leadership out here.
15 points for Van Exel in the quarter, 19 for the game. Webber tied up by Bell. Nope, they're going to call a foul.
With Van Exel putting on the clinic that he is, you'd think that they would put Doug Christie on him. A lot of teams like to go big in the backcourt against Dallas to put size and strength over Nash and Van Exel. You got Doug Christie, first team all-league defense, the first king in the history of the franchise to ever be so designated. And here he is shooting jumpers instead of playing defense.
And Christie hits it from the outside. How would you like to have played for one of these two teams in this type of offense, Kareem?
I don't know. They wouldn't have been looking for me. I know that.
They would be looking for you. It'd be a different game.
It'd be a lot of running up and down the court, I'll tell you that much. Finley, another three. And Bobby Jackson snatches down the rebound.
If they took that shot with the big man in the low post, that'd be the hook shot to the bench for that guy, Michael Finley.
And inside, it's Bobby Jackson.
Sacramento defensively has a lot of leeway because they can play Stojakovic on Nowitzki or they can play him on a small guy, and it doesn't seem to matter to them defensively.
Here's Nash. Nobody cuts him off. Basket and a foul on Webber. And Webber is just standing there in shock.
I'm really surprised that Sacramento is not showing any presence in the middle defensively. It's going to hurt them. They're going to lose this game if they don't change that situation.
We're going to thank you. Enjoy the game, Kareem. It's great to see you. 2:14 in the half. It's 78-53. We'll be right back.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs brought to you by Coors Light. Cool down easy. Rock on.
Coming up at the halftime, Greg Anthony, we will have the ATT halftime report. And, fireworks in Dallas, but a pretty good first game. We'll have highlights from that also.
It was a great first game.
And we want to show you the pictures from it. And really the story here, Tayshaun Prince, the kid from Kentucky. And this is what he did for Tubby Smith. A lot of people forgot about that.
I tell you what, Larry Brown's going to have his hands full trying to figure out what a way to stop this guy.
You were watching Tayshaun on the big screen, weren't you?
I was. I love it.
All right, let's go back to now.
From a Prince to the Kings, and the Kings are down 25 points.
And it's a night for left-handers, Tayshaun Prince and Nick Van Exel.
Look at the run that Dallas is on. Steve Nash is going to try to add to it. And very seldom does he miss a free throw.
They were down 10, and now they're up 25.
Yeah. 3 minutes and change into the game, they were down 10 points. Now they have the most points that they've ever scored in their playoff history in a first half, 78, and we still have 2 minutes left in the half.
And their coach, Don Nelson, was pleading with them. Yeah. Go out there and invite somebody. Go hold on to somebody. Play some kind of defense. I think they totally ignored him and just said, hey, look, we're just going to start jacking up shots here. Nowitzki at the beginning. Finley had his turn.
And then Van Exel took over. And Abdul Wahed, who just checked in, gets a foul on Mike Bibby.
We're talking record-breaking territory again here, because the most points ever scored in an NBA playoff game in the first half is 82 by San Antonio and by the Los Angeles Lakers. Both of them, surprisingly, against the Denver Nuggets.
And Bibby got the roll on the free throw. It's his first point of this quarter. Mike, who's scoring they have not really even needed, or didn't need Tuesday night, I should say. And they might need everybody scoring tonight. 2 minutes left in the first half. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, David Aldridge. If you missed it, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just joined us for a portion of the second quarter, and it was nice having him along.
Oh, the king.
Love It Live Legends Tour. And Bibby saves it. Weber, double team on him. Well, French and Abdul Wahed have him cornered, and he gets rid of it to Christie. And now it's Stojakovic. That's the third or fourth time he's been all alone under the basket. 18 for Peja.
Stojakovic moves so well without the ball. I don't know why they don't have the ball in Weber's hands more often. They'll get a layup anytime they want.
Finley. And Chris Webber one-hands the rebound, and he'll bring it down court. 1:15 in the half.
Might want to give this one up.
Almost came up with an offensive foul. He did battle his way through the traffic, and he's fouled by Raja Bell. Tomorrow night, as we take a look at the NBA calendar upcoming on TNT, doubleheader, New Jersey at Boston and San Antonio and the Lakers. Can the Lakers come back at home? Saturday night on ESPN, Detroit and Philadelphia will be game 3. Detroit up 2 there. Dallas and Sacramento, third game of this one at 9:30. Then Sunday on ABC, Mike and Tom and Michelle will come over and join David, Bill, and I as the Lakers in game 4 against San Antonio on ABC. The coverage starts at 3 o'clock.
We saw last night in San Antonio, Kareem there as part of the Love It Live Tour of America. The Spurs put on a flawless offensive exhibition, but do not count the Lakers out. Even though they're dispirited, they're playing senseless, selfish basketball, they tie that thing up 2-2. The Lakers are still the best big game team in the NBA.
They are the champions after all. Finley out to Nash, who's wide open. 3 for Steve, and he got it.
No tying up these Mavericks. They're just getting such wide open looks. They're not going to miss those shots.
81 Dallas points. Weber took an uncharacteristic 3 and missed it. And we're down to the final 38 seconds of the half.
The record's on the line here. 82 is the record.
Almost went right there. Stojakovic with a rebound. Christie brings it down for the Kings. Leaves it for Bobby Jackson. He just dribbled it right into the hands of Raja Bell. Here comes Dallas. Nash. There goes the record. '83 first half points is a new NBA record for one team in a playoff game through 2 quarters. Final 4 seconds. Weber driving on LaFrentz and lays it in.
Kings have 61 points.
and have been blown out. Finley. That almost went. That would have been the way to end the half. The highest scoring half by one team in the history of the NBA playoffs. You just saw it right here on ESPN. Dallas down by 10. 3 minutes and change into this game. Lead at halftime, 83-61. Let's check in with D.A.
Nick, you guys went small because you thought it would help you with your defense. Seems to have helped at the other end a little too.
Well, what we wanted to do, we wanted to try to push the tempo. We knew that we probably at home can use our transition game, and that's what we're doing. We're holding them to one shot, and we're getting out in transition to get some easy baskets.
When it was 20-10 after 4 minutes, did you think it was a repeat of game one?
Uh-oh, you know, that's what I said, uh-oh. But then we came out, and I can tell by the way the guys looked, they had that emotion, they had that energy, and I think we will be all right.
You ever been part of anything like this, a run like that, 35-point swing in less than a half?
Unbelievable. But, you know, Sacramento's not going to give up. We got to go in this locker room and prepare for the second half because we know that they're still in the game.
All right, Nick, thanks very much. Good luck in the second half. Back to you.
The most vocal Maverick after the loss on Tuesday was Nick Van Exel. He showed up with 19 first-half points. AT&T halftime report is coming up. Kevin and Greg will look back at that first game of our doubleheader and then bring you up to date on what we have lying ahead. I don't know what's going to be ahead in the second half of this one. Can it get any crazier or any more offensive? Halftime, Dallas 83, Sacramento 61.
Welcome to the AT&T Halftime Report.
I thought that we stumbled on an old-school ABA game. I thought that we flashed back. It was like the Dallas Chaparrals. 83-61 at the half. Dallas leading Sacramento. And the scary thing that Nick Van Exel said, they have to go into the locker room, get focused, and get ready for the second half because Sacramento can come back. It's that kind of series. Kevin Frazier, Greg Anthony, inside the studio. I'm exhausted after that first half. What an exciting half of basketball. 19 points for Nick Van Exel.
Yeah, I don't recall ever saying anything like that in my lifetime in terms of the offensive production that really both teams, you know, what's lost in this is that Sacramento scores 61 points. But 83 points in a half is just something that is unheard of. But you know what? They had to have this kind of performance to make this a series. I think, if anything, Sacramento's probably a little complacent coming into this game.
Can I tell you something really scary? The Denver Nuggets scored 80 points or less in 34 of their games this season, nearly half their games. So if you're playing the Denver Nuggets right now,
you go home. Chances are almost half the time they don't get 80, so you go home if you're the Dallas man, and you probably win.
This offensive output kind of overshadowing what was a great game one of our double dip as the Pistons and Sixers went into overtime. Let's show you the highlights of this one. Woo! Chauncey Billups out. Rip Hamilton's like, I got your back, and so did John Barry in the fourth quarter. John Barry goes Trey Punte crazy.
Doesn't do anything the entire game. Fourth quarter, he drops 11 points. Huge.
Detroit up by 3. Great feed from AI. Kenny Thomas, the bucket. Sixers pull within 1, 89-88. Closing seconds. Sixers up by a deuce. Allen Iverson goes to the free throw line, misses 2 free throws. Key because what happens at the other end, unbelievable who the Pistons go to.
They go to Tayshaun Prince, and man, look at the whirling derby shot. He comes up, hits the shot. I think at this point, Philadelphia is just mesmerized. They can't believe that they're going to potentially go to overtime.
The kid from Cali lifting the Pistons all alone. The pump fake, he's feeling it. Tayshaun Prince hits the 3, and yeah, the rookie drops 20, and a huge win. Huge win for the Detroit Pistons.
They played well, and it's unfortunate that Philly didn't come out with this win.
Let's hear from the Fresh Prince of the Palace.
Was a star born tonight?
No, it wasn't born tonight. It was born a long time ago. You know what? It's tough. But at the same time, when you're sitting there just visualizing things and evaluating what's going on the court when, you know, you haven't played that much all season, you just get this hungriness inside you that, you know, when you get on the court, you want to, you know, just bring something to the team.
Tayshaun Prince has been the difference for Rick Carlisle's team. And, you know, ever since he started getting minutes in Game 5 versus Orlando when they were down 3-1, he's paid huge dividends.
Oh, he has. But, you know, the most impressive thing for me about this kid is the fact that you're talking about somebody who really struggled his rookie season, didn't do a whole lot, didn't get an opportunity to really participate in the success of this Pistons team. And oftentimes, guys like that tend to sulk, start feeling sorry for themselves. But this kid didn't. He continued to work hard, continued to persevere. And you know what? When he got his moment, he took full advantage of it. And the Detroit Pistons are a better team because of it.
But what does this say about a kid who stayed in school? He was a starter at a great program and a leader in that program, so maybe he doesn't. He sticks with it, as you said.
Exactly. I mean, again, he had great coaching, obviously. I'm sure he comes from a great family, and that's the reason why this kid, again, has been able to come out and do what he's done in this series. And I've said this to you earlier, I think the Detroit Pistons, based on this performance, are a team of destiny. I'm going out on a limb right now. I'm saying they're going to the finals.
This all night long.
You know what? The way this game went, you know, Philadelphia dominated this team in that second half. I mean, they were plus 13 on the boards. They did everything possible to win this basketball game. And then you look up, and they're in overtime, and they get dominated in overtime. That tells me right now that the Detroit Pistons are on a mission, and they are going to try and figure out a way to get to the finals, man. I'm telling you.
Greg Anthony just put the glass slipper on the Detroit Pistons. We got to fit Rick Carlisle. I wonder what size he has. Anyway, meanwhile, I don't know what's going on in Dallas, but everything that Dirk Nowitzki and crew puts up goes in. They set an NBA record with 83 first-half points.
This halftime report is presented by the world's networking company, AT&T. Welcome back to the AT&T Halftime Report.
Checking on the playoffs from last night, a pair of games. Paul Pierce and the Celtics making a huge third-quarter run, a triple-double for Pierce. But his team loses because Richard Jefferson drops 25 and Kerry Kittle's also big.
Out there, the supporting cast of the Nets stepping up in an opportune time, taking advantage of the weaknesses of the Boston Celtics.
Meanwhile, Manu Ginobili, the only thing really going up in Argentina right now, Manu, he was fantastic. Bruce Bowen, though, the story, he had a career-high 27 points, 7 3-pointers from Bowen. Lakers down 2-0 to the Spurs, and tune in to SportsCenter tonight and see what Greg Anthony has to say about the Lakers in that series. Very interesting stuff. Meanwhile, Bruce Bowen, Cal State Fullerton, and who knew, but you should have known.
Oh, yeah. Look, Bruce Bowen is a tremendous basketball player, and more importantly, he's a great person. And it's always nice to see good things happen to good people. You know, this guy comes in, does the job defensively for you on Kobe Bryant, coming up with big blocks. He contests every shot. And more importantly, for the Spurs, he's knocking down the big three. Remember, this kid did lead the league in three-point shooting during the regular season. So that's a huge factor for this team. And again, the big key with the Spurs, that entire supporting cast has been so big, so huge. Not a lot of experience, but a lot of grit, a lot of toughness. They've taken on the identity of Greg Popovich, and you know you have to tip your hat to him.
All right, meanwhile, let's get back to our game real quick. Mavs-Kings is 83-61 to half. How many points can the Mavs score?
Oh, you got another half to go?
I
thought that was the end of the game.
No,
Jeez.
How many points can they score, really?
I think they're going to end up with about 140.
140, all right.
Will it be enough to win? That's the key.
That's what's frightening.
Yeah.
Will 140 be enough for the Mavs to win? Second half is on the way. Dirk Nowitzki, I'm sure he won't mind shooting it. The big kid from Germany flowing, so is his team. He has 21 points to lead the Mavs. They put up 83 in the first half.
This halftime report is presented by the world's networking company, AT&T.
Halftime in Dallas, and the fans have had something to cheer about in this half. 83-61, the hometown Mavericks leading. And 3 minutes into this game, Bill, Don Nelson called a timeout, and he was frustrated. I don't know if he knew what he was going to do, but it's worked out all right.
Were you still awake this morning when the newspaper came out? The front page of the Dallas Morning News said it's time to fire Don Nelson. I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Maybe contract extension time. You know, in the first half, unbelievable shooting by the Dallas Mavericks. And Don Nelson in the huddle is urging his team, you got to keep going. Let's not let up now. Let's keep on running. That's what he said in the huddle.
We're still looking to run. You got to play if the break isn't there. Don't walk down there without running through. Let's run through every time.
And run they did. The beauty of basketball is that even the little guys, when the shots are going down, can beat anybody they want. It was the Dallas Mavericks who were questioned about their defensive capabilities. But it was the Sacramento Kings who came up with no defense whatsoever as little Stevie Nash breaks the NBA playoff record with that layup for most points in a half. 3 guys.
What are they, 21 out of what, 27?
21 out of 28 in the first half. Nowitzki had 18 first quarter points, made his first 7 shots, missed his last 4. Steve Nash came alive with 15, and Nick Van Exel, 15 points in the second quarter alone. That was beautiful basketball.
Let's check in with D.A. David.
Guys, as you can imagine, Sacramento was not a happy locker room. A lot of yelling, screaming in there. The main thing they want to do is be patient offensively. Move the ball around like they did in the first quarter. They'll be a lot better off. Defensively, they've got to get to open shooters. Bobby Jackson said as he's coming on the floor, those guys are celebrating over there. We're going to get back in this game, guys.
Chris Webber takes it upon himself to help in that respect to open up the third quarter with his 23rd point.
I can't remember a greater turnaround in a playoff game. In a series, yes, but in a one game. And if Sacramento comes back and wins this game, this would truly be the most memorable game in the history of the NBA. Dallas is on a 75-43 run. That's a 32-point advantage against Sacramento. Sacramento, one of the 3 best teams in the league.
That's when Don Nelson called that timeout when it was 20-10, which it was on Tuesday night. The lead was 20-10. In fact, it swelled to 22-10 before Dallas started coming back. Nahara almost got a hand on that Weber shot, and it still went in. 25 for C-Web, and it's a 20-point game.
Foul on Bobby Jackson, trying to deny possession of the ball to Steve Nash. A big question in Dallas, will we ever see Sean Bradley on the court again?
I don't think the way this game's going, unless there's some serious foul trouble and it just gets to that point. They started with a smaller lineup tonight, did Don Nelson. Rafe LaFrentz didn't play for a long time, and when he came in, when he did come in, he played like he was possessed. LaFrentz, that is. Finley. Nahara in the lane. Trying to get his own miss. And it's out of bounds to Dallas. There's Sean Bradley, who has not seen the court tonight except for the layup drills.
Rick Adelman countering by going small himself right now, starting with Vlade and Keon Clark both on the bench.
Finley for 3. Got it!
They haven't slowed down.
Nope. 88-65. Dallas is 12 of 18 from outside the three-point line. Bibby, nice crossover dribble. Stojakovic couldn't make the catch for the shot, and then runs into Adrian Griffin en route to the hoop. And that's going to be 4 on Adrian Griffin.
A 3-point barrage here. Penetration, draw the defense in. Christie, who is assigned to Michael Finley, unable to close out enough. And that's why you have to deny guard penetration.
Stojakovic has put on a 3-point clinic of his own early in the ballgame. Hit his first 3, and Peja has 20 points. Weber with 26, leading the way for Sacramento.
But Kareem made the point in the first half that it was so easy that you just think it's going to continue like that. And particularly on the road, it's so very difficult. They had the early lead. The fans were a little bit restless here, but once the fans get that momentum and just start building one on top of the other, it's tough to stop.
Finley with Bobby Jackson on him. Tried to cross-court it. Bibby got a hand on it. 5 on the shot clock. Nash, kick out. Finley didn't take the 3. He's got to take that one, and Weber blocked it, and it's a shot clock violation. Nice defense. Sacramento hung with it.
Don Nelson's taking no chances. He's coming right away with Nick Van Exel. Don Nelson's got to talk to Michael Finley and say, you're passing up too many wide open shots. You're pump faking 3s. You're hot as can be. Everything is going great. Jack him up there. This is the Dallas Mavericks.
That was the first Dallas turnover since the first quarter. Here's Stojakovic, and he buries it, barely moves the net. And here we go. 24 for Stojakovic.
I don't think there's a better shooter in the NBA than Peja Stojakovic.
Well, he's won the three-point contest 2 years in a row at the All-Star game.
And you said it perfectly both times. The net doesn't even move. It's like the shot wasn't even taken. Just counted.
Nowitzki. Oh, and he got it to go. Wait a minute. No basket.
No, they're going to count the basket, but they're stopping a fight on the weak side.
Ted Bernhardt blew his whistle and was waving basically off what was going to be a little bit of an encounter, I guess.
The hack down by Peja Stojakovic is the foul on him. And then on the weak side, it was a couple of players tangled up. And Ted Bernhardt jumped quickly in to separate it and keep the situation from escalating.
Double technical on Nahara and Christie. Those were the two guys that were tangled up. So Dirk Nowitzki, who has hit 4 threes tonight, has 23 points going to the free throw line.
The questions about Dallas defense. Right now the questions are about Sacramento's defense. And I just don't see the strategy that Sacramento used in the first half of Weber or Keon Clark on Dirk Nowitzki. That will not work. Not that Peja is going to shut him down, but at least Peja will deny the three-pointer.
Bibby pushes it into Weber in the paint. One hand hook, and Nowitzki got a mouthful on top of the basket going in.
Chris Webber learning from Kareem quickly.
Nash all the way through traffic, spins in the paint. Nash has 19.
Tease him, little Stevie.
Nowitzki on Stojakovic, trying to hang with him. That one in and out. Finley the rebound. Here comes Dallas, leading 93-72. Finley, 3 that time. And trying to track down his own miss. Can't quite get there.
It's amazing. As the Mavericks come up the court, the crowd rises from their seats in unison in anticipation.
Nice feed. Bobby Jackson to Weber.
Don Nelson has seen enough. Timeout. Will somebody please rotate defensively?
So Weber's got an 8-point quarter going so far. 29 for the game for Chris. And the lead has been sliced into a little bit anyway. It was at one point 27 in the first half. They've cut it down to 93-74 after the last couple baskets by C-Webb. 8:21 to go, third quarter.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA. ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Toyota, get the feeling. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And Coors Original, Rio Rocky Mountain Beer, it's Guys Night Out.
The Mavericks night out, that's for sure. Western Conference semifinal. Dallas trying to even it at a game apiece with Sacramento after getting blown out Tuesday night. They're doing the blowing out right now. It is 93-74. We have 8:21 to go in the third quarter.
Blown out. Don't go out on a limb. They were humiliated. I didn't even think the series would make it to 4 games. Now we've got a real series here. But the most remarkable thing about this game, as wild and crazy as it's been, there's been 3 shot clock violations already.
You'd never believe it when you look at the scoreboard and how it's been up and down the court. Stojakovic clears off Nahara's miss. Bobby Jackson, quick move against Nash. Bibby's wide open for 3. Didn't go. And a foul on Finley.
Bibby, 2 for 8 on the night. It was against Steve Nash last year that Mike Bibby established himself as one of the great point guards in the NBA.
The foul was on Nahara, even though Finley was raising his hand. Nahara's got 4 fouls.
Yeah, it was a wise move to try to get it from Finley.
Wide open Bibby again. And now he's 2 for 9.
Continues to throw up bricks.
He didn't have to shoot much Tuesday. This time he leaves it out for Christie, and he'll wait for Van Exel to fly by and miss the shot.
Will somebody please get a rebound?
Weber, Christie couldn't find the handle.
What a bizarre sequence.
Christie with the foul.
If one of those shots goes down from the perimeter, Sacramento is coming right back into this game. No signs at all of Jim Jackson on the bench for Sacramento. No signs of Edu Turkoglu. Scott Pollard, who's a very good player and can be effective. Rick Adelman just never uses Scott Pollard against Dallas.
Finley for 3. Nahara tried to keep it alive, but he flipped it over to Christie. Bobby Jackson. And the rebound, Nahara with some authority.
Nahara's playing terrific basketball. A guy with not a lot of skill.
Oh,
face. That's in your face, Walton.
That's Walton's face. That's right. Nahara, who got the rebound, deserved that on the offensive end. He's got 6 points.
Well, he's been tipping balls. He's been playing the defense. He keeps this one away from Weber. Initially.
He made Weber have to search for the handle, that's for sure. And Chris now has 31 points. Chance to add one more.
Why do teams who have bad defensive reputations like Dallas, why do they gamble on steals that they really have no chance to make? How about just play a simple, conservative, contained defense?
Weber's done great from the free throw line tonight as he missed only 2, and that one did come out on him. Log on to NBA.com for the exclusive 2003 playoff section. Live post-game press conferences, photo galleries, video highlights, and a lot more. Love it live on NBA.com. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, David Aldridge, and our ESPN crew in Dallas at American Airlines Center. Dirk Nowitzki with a turn and a miss.
Dirk Nowitzki is getting pounded out there. He's getting hit in the jaw, getting hit in the throat, and he's looking over at the referees and says, what does it take for me to get to the free throw line?
Rebounding tonight, Mavericks with the big advantage. Van Exel was looking for a foul on his shot, didn't get it. Dallas doesn't out-rebound a lot of opponents.
Traveling.
A walk on Stojakovic.
That brings a smile to Peja's face. Certainly not to Rick Adelman, but Peja he knows he used the casual footwork.
The Peja shuffle.
Find one. Okay.
Don't need no stinking pivot feet. 6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, third quarter.
What a great move by Steve Nash. Acting like he's going to make an inside pivot to turn and go to the hoop, knowing that Dirk Nowitzki is coming off his backside. But Steve Nash, he runs the pick and roll. He turns, initiates the contact, and Peja Stojakovic has to just run him over, forcing the timeout.
And that's 4 fouls on Stojakovic. He's hot. Rick Adelman's way out on the court. He's mad about it. It's 95-76.
Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony inside Playoff Central. I'll play Vanna White and point to the board. All right, your thoughts on the East as the scene shift?
Well, I already told you, the Pistons, we're going to go here. If Twan can find his game, maybe the Nets will have a series on their hands.
All right. Meanwhile, in the West, the Lakers and Spurs.
I like the Lakers if they can win Game 3. That's the key.
If they can win Game 3, which is very important. Lakers trail 2-0. And meanwhile, we have the Wild West shootout.
The Mavs got to hold on. Mavs got a chance tonight.
They have a great chance. Let's go back to Brad and Bill, guys.
They definitely got a chance tonight, fellas. 6:04 remaining third quarter. They have 95 points right now.
If the Mavericks don't win this game, that is going to be a nightmare situation for them.
Remember, they had a 12-point fourth quarter lead in Game 4 last year and ended up losing in overtime, and that was all she wrote against the Kings last year in the series.
That was also the game that Peja Stojakovic sprained his ankle.
Van Exel off his own miss. We got to love that. 21 for Nick.
The littlest guy in the court. Nick Van Exel grabbing rebounds. While Dirk, Chris Webber, Hedo Turkoglu, and Nahara are standing flat-footed.
Bibby not having a good shooting night. Christie will try to light it from the outside, and it's Nahara. That time he got the rebound.
He's gone ice cold, and the Mavericks are outletting the ball beautifully.
Nash, a runner over Bibby. Webber cleans the glass. And brings it up.
Oh, that's an offensive foul. Offensive foul.
Chris Webber, that'll be 4 on him.
I'm all for big guys dribbling the ball, except in this kind of game. When there's nothing but little guys, Chris has to take on the role of, okay, I'm now Shaquille O'Neal.
Right, I'm the big guy now.
Right. Now, in a game with Duncan and Shaq and all these guys, get out there and let Chris dribble the ball, but not tonight.
So he's got 4 fouls with 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Van Exel trying to feed Nowitzki. Diz Does get it to him. Now it's Nash moving it around. Finley for three. Got it! (100-76).
We are still in the third quarter, aren't we?
With 4:41 left in the third quarter. Christie got an open look, but he missed it.
They're running away from Doug Christie. They want him to shoot every single time.
Van Exel got the roll. 23 for Van Exel, 19 for Nash, 16 for Finley, and 24 for Nowitzki right now for Dallas.
When was the last time this crowd sat down?
Halftime. And that was just to catch their breath. Bobby Jackson badly misses a three outlet at Van Exel from Nowitzki.
No.
Didn't get it. That would have brought the house down again.
You guys running away from the basket, shooting 1-on-4.
Chris Webber even missing his favorite shot. 12 rebounds for Nowitzki.
I'd go for Finley. He's got a hot hand on the threes.
Steve Nash slipped on the dribble, and they did get a timeout called. Dallas gets a timeout called. Don Nelson has a smile on his face for one of the few times tonight. It's 102-76. 3:41 remaining in the quarter.
The ball movement for Dallas is just phenomenal. Dirk Nowitzki finding little Stevie in the corner and swinging up to the top. No hesitation whatsoever by Finley. His three-point shot is there. It's his two-point game for Finley that's just killing him. Stay away from that and just jack up more threes.
He's hit 4 threes, 1 2-point field goal, and a couple of free throws.
How much fun to play for Don Nelson. And they're talking about firing this guy? What's up with that?
Look at the field goal shooting by the big three. And now that's the big three, but as Don Nelson would say, we really got a big four because Nick Van Exel has 23 points. And he's off the bench.
When was the last time Nick played poorly? I can't remember. And we've been doing every Dallas game for what seems like an eternity.
He's really one of the few bright spots in the lopsided loss on Tuesday. Finley again missing the two-pointer. Bobby Jackson the rebound.
For Don Nelson's come with Rafe LaFrentz. Can he get something out of anybody from the big guys on the bench?
He did from LaFrentz in the first half. Jackson spinning his way to the hoop and tipped it up through Nowitzki's hands and got it to go in off the glass. Follow by LaFrentz, who just showed up, and he's got 8 points.
All the hustle plays for Rafe LaFrentz. Over to top Webber. Wild. Webber's not going to be able to catch that lob, and Webber's down. Webber is down, and that's not good for Sacramento.
Completely down on the baseline. Face down.
The worst of all possible worlds for Sacramento.
They'll hustle down. Doug Christie coming back down to check out his fallen teammate, too.
Well, we just talked about how last year in Game 4, Peja Stojakovic with a severely sprained ankle that he never really got right.
Now even some of the guys from the Sacramento bench coming down to check on C-Webb. It happened right there, but
he looked like he was going down already. He looked like he gave up on the play for the lob.
We'll check on him when we come back. Chris Webber down, his team down 104-78. Chris Webber has been carried to the locker room by his teammates. As before the timeout, we'll take a look from up on top. They lob it to him. He had already given up on that ball and was heading to the deck right there.
It looked as if when he made the back cut to the hoop, he tried to explode. This does not look like a play where he came down on somebody.
It happened on his own stride, and
this is just so sad.
As they take him to the locker room, it's the left ankle that had been the problem last year and much of this year. But we don't know if it's the left ankle or a knee or a thigh or anything. We're not going to speculate until we can get some sort of report. But he's obviously in a great deal of pain. And Gerald Wallace, one of his teammates there, just trying to help him. And Chris literally was lifted by Christie and Pollard and Wallace and some of those guys, lifted from the floor and lifted to that cart. And now the left leg is what's being held aloft as they take him into the locker room. So, wow, what a what a huge blow to not just this game maybe, but
the entire playoff.
The entire playoff hopes of the Kings may have gone up in smoke right there on the baseline. We don't know yet. Meanwhile, back to the live action. It's Michael Finley at the free throw line. And the fans here who've had so much to cheer about, and you can tell they've just taken a big deep breath as if to say, well, we didn't want to see anybody get hurt. This game was too fun. And now one of the great players in the NBA is in the locker room, and we don't know the severity, but doesn't look like he's certainly going to be back tonight.
A stunning turn of events here. This game has been remarkable on so many fronts, and then have such an important player have an injury in a game. It's a 25-point game. Yikes. How sad.
Ruby hits his first field goal since the first quarter.
Now the players have to try to battle through this from both teams, because it brings into your mind, how fragile and tenuous everything is.
Stojakovic trying to come down with a steal, and Roger Bell steals it right back. Nice hustle on defense by Bell. Underneath is Finley.
Nice defense.
19 now for Michael Finley. 27-point lead again. Turkoglu trying to change that. And hits it.
I'm always amazed that Turkoglu doesn't get a lot more minutes. Granted, Rick Adelman wants to keep a tight rotation, but that guy's just too good.
Here's Van Exel. Having the hot hand and continuing to do so.
Nice defense.
26 points for Van Exel. 110-83. Stojakovic trying to back in, and now fading over Finley, and missed the shot. Van Divac strips it. Van Exel strips it.
Shoot a three, Nick. Shoot a three.
They'll leave it for Finley. 118 in the quarter.
Why are they slowing it down? I guess to let the fans catch their breath.
That's right. Van Exel tries another. He got another.
That was the shot they waited for?
That's it. There was a plan. There was a strategy.
Dallas has got 15 threes, a franchise playoff record.
Vlade Divac trying to hook shot, blocked by LaFrance. 8 on the shot clock. Bobby Jackson going inside, and he got by everybody.
Shoot it, Nick. You're hot.
There it goes. Not that time. Finley, though, kept it alive. Nowitzki. In and out.
That would have brought the house down.
Final 30 seconds to the third quarter. A 113-point so far third quarter for Dallas. And Bobby Jackson gets an offensive foul.
Sacramento's falling apart. And now they got Chris Webber in the locker room. Van Exel just doing everything. Oh. Offensive fouls in this series. Sacramento has 9. Dallas 0 for the entire series, which shifts for games 3 and 4 Saturday and Sunday back-to-back in Sacramento.
Finley has a look at the clock. Shot clock, game clock virtually even. Van Exel standing at the top of the key as if to say, Mike, if you don't take it, I think I can.
Back up. Don't shoot the 2.
Finley fading away. An air ball. Divac won't get a shot away in time. And at the end of the half, it was 83 Dallas points. At the end of the third quarter, it's 113 Dallas points.
What is the lead? I can't figure that out.
I don't know, 28, 20, something like that. It's 113 to 85 anyway. Dallas only put 30 on the board this quarter. What's going on out here? Back in Dallas, American Airlines Center, rocking our Miller Lite storyline of this game. Biggest story might be in the Sacramento locker room, though. Chris Webber had 31 points. He went out with 258 with the injury remaining in the third quarter, and Dallas has put up 113 points through 3 quarters. 83 at halftime was an NBA playoff record. Let's check in with David Aldridge.
Guys, we do not know any information about Chris Webber's condition yet. The one thing you have to keep in mind, he has been playing with a very, very bad knee the last few. Well, Chris Webber is now limping back to the floor. He's going back to the floor. And we'll try to get an update on his condition, guys.
All right, well, limping on the left leg and working his way back toward the floor. That could be an emotional lift a little bit for his team, but they're buried right now behind a 28-point advantage by Dallas. Shot clock down to 5. We didn't have to worry about that much, even though, as Bill said, we've had a couple violations of the shot clock tonight. Rebound is Stojakovic, who's done a nice job offensively and on the rebounding edge. There's Chris coming back out.
Adrian Griffin did a nice job. He got this game going for Dallas with some beautiful individual offense.
Jimmy Jackson, who just checked in, his second field goal. He really did. Adrian Griffin started the game and had 6 points in a hurry. He still only has 8, but he was the spark plug early in the ballgame. Here he is. Here's the guy that sparks everything every time he touches it. Finley, Jimmy Jackson on him. 3 in the shot clock. Has to hurry. Got it! 21 for Finley.
They've got an unbelievable lead. I can't even figure out what the spread is here. But Michael Finley's still playing too conservative of a game. Open it up, Mike. Jack some shots up. Too much dribbling.
One-hand pass by Clark down to Turkoglu, and he's fouled by Griffin, and that will be 5 on Adrian. This was the last shot by Finley with the shot clock winding down over Jimmy Jackson. You can see the shot clock on the upper part of the screen. Hit 0 as he hit the shot.
And Jimmy Jackson is an outstanding defender on the perimeter, in the post, in transition. That's how good Michael Finley is. He can just rise in his face, go into his left, his weak hand, and just drill a jumper.
Four points for Turkoglu.
Think Turkoglu's going to stay with the Sacramento Kings long term?
Well, you were talking about last year compared to this year. As Van Exel, he's throwing up every kind of shot. They're all going in. Turkoglu last year in the Game 5 clincher in this series had 20 points and 13 rebounds. So what a year of difference makes, and not getting as much time.
But he was starting after Pazier went down.
Right.
And he did a terrific job. That's an offensive foul. That's 10-0 in offensive fouls in this series.
That's a very sore backside for Raja Bell, who really hit the deck hard.
Raja Bell is not coming out of this game.
No.
They would have to peel him off the floor.
You're going to watch him hit the deck here after Clark ran into him. Boom.
You get a chance like this to play, and you're Raja Bell. You say, Coach, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Forget about my rear end. It's killing me. There's Chris Webber talking to Vlade Divac on the bench. Finley. There, a little less conservative for Bill.
I'm sad that Nick Van Exel has lost interest in shooting.
Bobby Jackson, he misses, and Bell the rebound.
Come on, Nick. Right there. You're hot. Jack it up.
There it goes, and he's fouled. So he'll go to the free throw line.
Is there anything better, though, than watching a guy who's just in the zone?
Yeah.
And everybody else is completely helpless. Nick is playing 1-on-9 out there and doing a beautiful job of it. But imagine Hedo Turkoglu on the Dallas Mavericks. Turkoglu's 6'10". Right. They're desperate for big guys. He likes contact. You know, he's sitting there languishing along with Gerald Wallace and Lawrence Funderburk and Scott Pollard. Right. This is such a deep team, Sacramento. At some point, these guys are going to say, hey, I want to play some ball. Jeff Petry's going to have his hands full trying to keep this squad together.
Nick Van Exel has 32 points to lead the way for Dallas. He's the guy that's done most of the talking since Tuesday night's debacle. Here's Jimmy Jackson for 3, and he got it.
Michael Finley standing there yelling at the ref. And the ref saying, you're up 30. You're hot. You're knocking down threes, and you're yelling at me. Come on, Nick. From there. From there.
There it goes for Van Exel, and there goes another one. 35 Nick Van Exel points.
What is the most points ever by a reserve in an NBA playoff game?
You asked some good questions. Turkoglu missed. Adrian Griffin with a rebound. Right now, Nick's 34 points matches a career playoff high as Adrian Griffin winds his way inside, and he's got 10.
Nice defense. Rick Adelman is sitting this one down. Remember, he won by 20 the other night. He stood up the whole game.
That's right.
He's already sitting down. His back must be feeling better.
Stojakovic with Roger Bell swatting at him. Will take the jumper. Keon Clark going back up with it.
Send it back, Rafe.
Swatted it away.
Finley's involved in that block, too.
Van Exel.
Oh, Rafe, what are you passing that one up for?
Finley from way out. Almost had it to go down.
The NBA playoff record for most points in a game is 157. Set by the Boston Celtics versus the New York Knicks in 1990 at the end of Larry Bird's career. 157.
We might have a shot. We need 32 more in 8 minutes. Nick Van Exel. Is he feeling it or what? Look at the snarl.
Time for the Dockers Defender's Edge, and really the only thing defending in this game, Greg Anthony, is the Dockers that you're wearing.
That's right. That's right. They won't wrinkle either. Remember that.
153 shots, 80 makes, 5 different players with 24 points, but there was one defensive play. Log on to ESPN.com and vote for the Dockers Defender's Edge.
All right, guys, another important member of Sacramento has had to head to the locker room. Bobby Jackson on the collision that ended up being an offensive foul as you see him driving in on Rafe LaFrance in the ear and jaw area on the right side, and he was helped to the locker room to make sure that jaw is still working right. We'll try to get a report. As you see, again, he runs right into Rafe LaFrance's right shoulder, grabs his jaw and mouth, and had to head to the locker room.
That hurts just looking at it.
Chris Webber, there you see Bobby going off. Chris Webber has come back out and is sitting on the bench after going down. Let's see if we can get more on his condition from DA.
Guys, here's a report on Chris Webber. He has a left knee injury. The Kings do not know right now how severe it is, but the team physician, Dr. Martyr, told the club owners, Gavin and Joe Malupi, does not think it involves any kind of cartilage tear. As you saw Webber limp back on the floor, it looked like he had some stability in the knee. But they are going to do an MRI on him tomorrow just to be sure. They don't know what the injury is right now in terms of severity, and I will go check on Bobby Jackson.
All right. Jeez.
A busy man.
All of a sudden, it's a mash unit for DA on the Sacramento side of things.
Okay, Sean Bradley's in the game. Let's get him going, and maybe these fans here will lay off Sean a little bit.
Van Exel fouled by Jimmy Jackson. So Nick will go to the free throw line. Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Finley, the big three. They might be the big three, but the guy at the free throw line is pretty darn big himself.
He's bigger than those guys.
Tonight he has been. And Nick actually isn't at the free throw line. He shoots him from about 19 feet away. He does everything a little bit differently.
Wilt used to do that, but Wilt used to do a little bit of everything.
Second one's off the mark. Turkoglu with a rebound.
But everything going right for Dallas tonight. Rest for Nash and Nowitzki. Injuries for Sacramento.
Jimmy Jackson trying to throw one over Bradley.
And now we'll have the endless argument of the back-to-back, how that impacts this series.
Bobby Jackson, they're getting some use out of that injury cart that you hate to see any time of year, especially in the playoffs.
Bobby Jackson, to take him to the locker room, there's got to be something seriously wrong with that. Remember, he walked off with a broken hand.
Nick Van Exel gets a pat on the butt from Don Nelson and high fives from his teammate as he goes out with 35 points. Plus 6 assists.
14 for 19 shooting for Nick Van Exel. And the thing is, he didn't even start out hot.
No, he didn't. But once he got sizzling,
Oh, we've got Walt Williams in the game now. Tariq Abdul-Wahed.
Turkoglu swatting at Walt Williams and threw it away. The Mavericks tonight, 24 from Nowitzki, 19 from Nash, 24 from Finley, and 35 from Nick Van Exel.
My sense is that with the substitutions that have been made, that we are not going to get to 157.
Yeah, I don't think so. Christie over Bradley. Doug Christie, and that's his first field goal of the second half. In fact, only his second of the night.
The crowd has not lost much of its steam, although they can sense that this is well in hand.
And Abdul-Wahed gets the foul. That's his second.
Whatever happened to close games in the NBA playoffs?
I don't know. We haven't seen any in the last couple nights, that's for sure. The game that Mike and Tom and Michelle had went overtime tonight. Detroit won, if you missed that. So they have a 2-0 lead as they head to Philadelphia. We thought this one, with the way it looked on Tuesday night, would be a 2-0 going back to Sacramento, and that's not going to be the case. This one will be evened up in about 6 minutes. Another turnover, the outlet to Turkoglu. Bell trying to flag him down and couldn't.
Normally, home court playoff victories don't mean anything.
This one means quite a bit, doesn't it?
This one means a lot. Compounded by the injuries to Weber and Jackson. You said it. Those are their two most important guys.
Griffin stripped by Jackson, and the bodies pile up. Did they get a timeout called?
The refs don't want to call a timeout.
No, jump ball.
Get a jump ball and keep the game moving here.
So the bag of ice is on Chris Webber's left knee. They should put bag of ice on Nick Van Exel just to cool him off a little bit.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles define convention. The Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. Professional results fast.
Kevin and Greg inside Playoff Central. So things changing out west, and especially with the injuries to the Mavericks.
Oh, without question. Without question. I mean, you look at it, you got the Spurs and Lakers. That's the series now. No one would have thought they'd be up 2-0 the Spurs. And then with the Mavericks coming out with a gutsy performance tonight, playing basketball probably as well as it can be possibly played, you have to say that with the injuries as well, this series could go 7.
All right, remember this. The last time Lakers down 2-0, it was to the Spurs in '99. They were swept in that series. Just wanted to throw that out there. Brad?
All right, Kevin, Greg, thanks, guys. Here, our Cadillac game track. Kings taken off their track by the injuries to Chris Webber first with 2:58 in the third quarter, then Bobby Jackson in this fourth quarter with 8:11 to go in the game. You see the big three had 67 points, and Van Exel off the bench had 35 for Dallas, but Bobby Jackson, a very, very integral part of this Sacramento Kings team. There he ran into Rafe LaFrentz, was called for the offensive foul, and let's see if D.A. has more on his condition.
Well, guys, Bobby Jackson just returned to the Sacramento locker room. He had x-rays taken of his right orbital eye socket after that collision. We don't know the results of those x-rays yet. Obviously, an eye injury could be very serious, and we will update you as soon as we find out some more.
All right, Dr. Aldridge. Man, terrible news for Sacramento and both Webber, and you just hope that both of them are going to be able to play the rest of the series.
And now the team doctor becomes the most important member of the entire franchise.
Williams from the free throw line. Bradley had a hand on it. Shot clock violation as they didn't get it to the rim.
Was that 4 shot clock violations in this game? Remarkable.
You wouldn't know it when you look at the score, would you? Turkoglu in some traffic leaves it for Gerald Wallace, and Wallace goes down hard. He's fouled. 126-97, 5:21. Our Sprite Mad Skills kids learn to shoot those three-pointers like the Dallas Mavericks, because tonight they just ripped it up from three-point land. In fact, they have hit 16 of 27 tonight. Dallas, by the way, up to that last time out, has cooled down to 57.6% from the floor. Remember, Sacramento on Tuesday night set a playoff record for their club with 55% against the non-defense of Dallas, and now they've returned the favor tonight, have the Mavericks.
That's really what we need. All these kids at home listening to their junior high school coaches saying defense, pass the ball, square up for the good-looking shot. And the kids go, yeah, I'm going to play like Nick Van Exel.
That's right. I want to shoot like Nick. Mavericks turn it over. Turkoglu trying to bounce pass to Wallace. And too much steam on that one.
This guy, Gerald Wallace, is going to be a star in this league one day.
Someplace.
I don't know if it's going to be in Sacramento, because he's just not going to ever get the time with the current squad that they have. But he's got all the skills, all the talent.
Abdul ahead. Griffin. Under 10 on the shot clock. Walt Williams gets it back out to Adrian, and he'll try a three. And it went in. He got the roll.
That hit the bottom of the rim from the
How
corner.
in the world did that thing go up and in? 17 threes for Dallas tonight.
On 28 attempts.
Jimmy Jackson's going to try one of his own.
Yeah, they're calling this on Sean Bradley.
For hooking with a hand while he's pulling down the rebound. Watch this shot by Adrian Griffin. This is the weirdest looking thing you'll ever see.
It's painful. It hits as the worst possible shot imaginable. And it just...
This is a blooper three is what this is.
That was a three?
That was a three.
Oh, goodness gracious. And Sean, you can see from the bottom of that play that Sean Bradley and Scott Pollard are getting into it, and the referees quickly call a foul the next possession to keep it from escalating.
Scott Pollard, new look for Scott. Got rid of the sideburns and some of the facial hair and went blonde.
Well, he's ready for summer.
Yeah.
The American River. Yeah, Scott went to high school in California, Del Mar, Torrey Pines High School, played for Coach John Farrell.
Backdoor cut by Adrian Griffin. Now Bell working the baseline, and Bradley the outside shot. Lawrence Funderburk into the Sacramento lineup with a rebound. Wallace crashes in to Bradley. Well, those are a happy bunch over on the Dallas bench as well. They should. They, as Bill said, the last 2 days has been brutal. And not only the radio talk shows, the newspapers, everything, just ripping Dallas for.
It was fire the coach, get rid of all the players. The owner's lost his mind. But right now, the Sacramento Kings are treating Sean Bradley like a rent-a-car.
Just turn it in with the gas empty or what? No. Ball out of bounds. And the other sideline, obviously, the concern on the looks of the faces, that the fact that they're going to lose, but more concern about two of their stars. What is the status health-wise going to be of those two guys by Saturday? Or maybe way past Saturday. Gerald Wallace just inside the three-point line.
Jeff Petrie has such a remarkable eye for talent. All the guys he's identified around the world, Hedo Turkoglu, Gerald Wallace, the decision to bring Vlade in. But this is the same story as last year. Sacramento hammers him in game one, comes out, plays great at the start of game two, and then falls asleep, and Dallas comes back. Last year was obviously closer in game two. And then Sacramento went on to win 3 straight games.
Everybody thought coming into this game that if Don Nelson and his Mavericks could come back and win at home and even it at 1-1, it would really change the dimension of the back-to-back games in Sacramento. And now with the Kings hurting, it could be very, very big. 129, 103, 3:08 to go. A happier American Airlines Center tonight. Not a happy sideline for Sacramento. Not only they're going to lose this game, but injuries, key injuries. First, Chris Webber, the lob pass. You see him pull up lane before he ever attempted to get a hand on that. And we put the circle around the knee that, as DA said, we'll have an MRI on it tomorrow. That ended Chris's night. He was carried to the locker room by his teammates, and then Bobby Jackson in the fourth quarter runs into Rafe LaFrance, offensive foul, sits down and starts checking his cheek and his eye socket and he goes to the locker room, and he's done for the night. And that just tells the story right there.
Injuries changing the history of basketball. Talking about that this morning on the way up from San Antonio.
Sacramento, Jim Jackson over to Turkoglu. Misses the reverse layup. Abdul ahead with the rebound. Had there been a need for the starters to stay in this game, as Bill said, we might have been pushing the all-time record for most points by a team in a playoff game. We're at 131 for Dallas, but they have, for the most part, all reserves in the lineup right now. Nice pass as Pollard from Turkoglu.
Throw it down, Scott. One time. Throw it down, please. Look at this. Raja Bell coming up the court, orchestrating. Like Pete Maravich, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson.
And Raja Bell. Abdul ahead. Nice hustle by Wallace on the baseline to save it. Under 2 minutes now. Funderburk from Jim Jackson can't get it. And Pollard lost the handle out of bounds.
So difficult to play well under these circumstances. Referees just letting everything go, the pushing, the shoving. Everybody wants to just get out of here. Rick Adelman can't believe the collapse of his own squad that looked so brilliant 48 hours ago and so inept tonight.
We're under 2 minutes. Let's check in with David on Bobby Jackson if he's got more. DA?
Well, guys, Bobby Jackson has what they are calling a non-displaced fracture of his right orbital, which is his cheekbone. That means that he will not need surgery. They do not know if he'll be able to play this weekend in games 3 and 4. It will depend on the swelling. Right now, he's not experiencing any swelling, but he soon will be experiencing swelling. And it depends on how soon that swelling goes down, because they'd like to fit him with a mask, but they can't do that if the pain is too great. So that's going to be a 48-hour deal until game 3 on Saturday.
Thanks, DA. And as Bill said, the doctors become as important as anything, and you just hope that Bobby can play this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back games. They need him. They're going to need him, obviously.
He's such a great player.
Yeah.
And to have this happen, it's just so sad, so frustrating.
Final minute and a whistle and a foul on Funderburk. Would have been a breakaway layup. The schedule that we talked about now, Saturday and Sunday back-to-back. And then at Dallas Tuesday. And then if necessary at Sacramento on the 15th, Dallas the 17th. That's the way it looks. So a series that Tuesday night, when you walked out of this building, you said, there is no way, unless Dallas, as Don Nelson said, we've got to play a lot better. They've got to play a lot worse. I'm not sure Sacramento played that much worse in this game tonight, but boy, did Dallas play a whole bunch better. And Turkoglu and Walt Williams. Whoops, this is something you definitely don't need with 40 seconds to go in a game that is so over.
What are they thinking? Are they thinking at all?
So Walt Williams is walked over by Eddie Rush to the scorers table area. Here's Williams, lays an elbow in after the defense by Turkoglu.
Little Teddy Bernhardt looking like Mills Lane in there.
And they're both gone, I think. Yep, they've both been tossed.
How about a new rule that if you get ejected from a game, you don't get paid for that game?
Rick Adelman's hot over there with the officials. And Walt's on his way to the locker room. So is Turkoglu.
They got more guys in the locker room than they got on the court.
Tomorrow night on TNT, a doubleheader for you. New Jersey at Boston in Game 3, and San Antonio at the Lakers. Lakers down 2-0. That's a 10:30 matchup. Saturday night on ESPN, Detroit and Philadelphia. Philadelphia in a 2-0 hole. At home now at 7, and then Game 3 of this one that'll be tied at 1-1 is 9:30. Then Sunday on ABC, San Antonio and the Lakers get together Game 4 at Staples at 3 o'clock coverage. And the 5 of us will be there as Michelle Tafoya, Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico will add the 6 of us, I should say, will all be there.
Walt Williams gets ejected from the game. So Rick Adelman gets the choice of who he wants to come out and shoot the free throw. Rick Adelman picks Nick Van Exel, who had basically got undressed.
And he's trying to dress back up. Nick's pulling everything up, making sure his shoes are tied.
Yeah, and Rick Adelman, he said, look, we already lost our two best guys. Maybe Nick Van Exel, maybe something will happen to him when he comes out here.
Jeez. So Nick, who already has a career playoff high of 35, I'd already circled him in the book, but we got to add some now. 36.
He's got to bank this one in.
We've seen everything
Come on,
else.
bank it in. Bank it in.
Missed the second one. 36 points for Nick. 132-105. Apparently isn't going to be the biggest margin of defeat in a playoff game or the biggest margin of victory, because both of those are 30. And I don't quite think we're going to get there after Jimmy Jackson just knocked that one down.
What if that move by Rick Adelman, what if that just makes Nick Van Exel mad?
That wouldn't be a good idea.
And embarrasses him. He said, look, I'm going to stick it to those guys who tried to show me up. Because generally you pick the worst guy.
Wallace with a rebound. Game over. It's been over since halftime when we had 83 first half points, which was an NBA record for one team. Vanderberg gets the basket. Game is over. And Dallas, when it looked like they had just completely had all their momentum snatched on Tuesday night, returned the favor tonight. Everybody played well for the Mavericks. They win it going away, 132-108. Sports Center is coming up next. Thanks for being with us from Dallas. For Bill Walton and David Aldridge, Brad Nessler from American Airlines Center. It's all even at a game apiece.